please.
Hello, I'm Michał Łuka. I'm director of photography and I'm in the FEST'23.
Very good. So, tell me a bit of your presentation. What are you going to tell us?
I will talk about working as a cinematographer with the VFX. 'Cause I did a Netflix show called The Liberator, which was a hybrid animation technique, and it was like a lot of VFX. I also did some commercials with a lot of VFX. I think like I understand it a little bit, so that's I want to share.
It's a close relationship between a cinematographer and the VFX.
Yeah, I mean I work very close with the supervisor, VFX supervisor, and so on the set, I have a director and the VFX supervisor that I can always ask him, can I do it like this? You won't have problem later on, and usually if he says yes,
Okay, but what you do on field, you see the best shot, or explain to me just
one more time.
What do you do on set? You see this is the best shot. What? Explain.
It's like, of course, like VFX, it's a little different than like shooting on a location, but like I think basis is the same. Like what is the story about? How to tell it by the images, and so even like if I'm like talking with you right now, there's like no background, or the background is gonna be created later on. It's like always the size of the frame, the camera angle, the camera movement, like how to tell it with the images. It's a little bit different than shooting on a normal location, I mean on the real location or on a stage, but I guess you still have the same tool. It's just one of them you can use a little bit later on the post, for example, but I think when you're doing the pre-production, you know how it's gonna look, or you should know how it's going to look, if it's going to be day, night, if it's going to be, what is your mood, and you can, it's a little bit different tools. Sometimes it's a little easier, sometimes it's just a little bit different, but I think the VFX is like kind of one of the tools you can use.
But you have to have all the images in your head.
Yeah, I mean like, it's like when you're shooting like the regular feature film, it's like, how the story goes and what you need to use. Sometimes you see something on the set and you change it because you feel that this is better. You did a storyboard, but maybe in that way it works better. You talk with the director. He said, yeah, let's try maybe, or no, let's do it like it was before. And
do you think that your work can ruin a film, or can make it better?
You mean like the VFX?
Yeah.
I mean, as I said, it's like it's a tool that helps to make like some pictures, or just even all the scripts that are just not possible to make in any other way, or just make just other things just simply. For example, the car scenes. Of course, you can like take the actors into the car, rig the camera on the car, find the right road, be there on the certain time when the sun is on the right direction. But it is like complicated. I mean, it's not even that complicated. There's like many things that you, like the weather, for example, you cannot have, you don't have influence on what the weather will be like that day when you're shooting, or sometimes, or you just cannot get the permission to close the road that you would like to shoot on, for example, and it will take maybe more time, or this kind of thing. And with the VFX, for example, it's just easier to shoot it on blue screen, more convenient for the actors, better for the sound, all those things. So
it's cheaper, no?
Depends. I mean, sometimes, like for example, I mean, it can be cheaper. Like for example, in the show The Liberator, this technique allowed us to just to shoot it because there was no budget. Like they tried to make it as a regular show, but it was like Second World War, a lot of battle scene and stuff like that, tanks, a lot of extras. It's very expensive. So just, you know, they tried to raise the money, raise the funds for many years. They couldn't make it, so they think about animation. Then this technique came. So in the case of this show, it was like the only way it was possible to achieve. For example, you know.
Yes, yes. In case you are, I don't know, talking about other planets, that you have to.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, you know, like I was like shooting last month. I was shooting commercial, which is like, you know, take place in the future. So this is like, you know, it was all VFX because, you know, it's like the city from the future, all this stuff, you know, you cannot like do the recce and find a place like that.
Of course.
So, so yeah, so for some kind of scenarios, it's just the only way to shoot it, and for the regular feature, it's just sometimes just easier to make it in that way.
Have you ever had an uncanny valley experience? That thinking it's so real that you.
Yeah. Actually, I did. You know, like for example, if, you know, some of the car scenes we did, and so there was like the car chase. Those, you know, the moving lights, like just to imitate what it happens on the street. So like the car is going from that side, so we just mimic all the traffic lights and the light in the background, and then like we shoot the plates. And I was watching this in the cinema with the director and the VFX supervisor, and I had the feeling that, you know, I think it's, you know, it's real, and this is like very pleasant feeling that, you know, all the backgrounds, but still, you know, you think it's real.
Okay, tell me, what do you think of the festival and the town?
I mean, it's a very beautiful town. I mean, it's a very beautiful country in the first place. I mean, yeah. Portugal, it's great. And, you know, the festival, I really like it. It's great master classes, you know, people from all around the world, very good movies, and like very, you know, friendly atmosphere. I think that like Espinho is a great place for this kind of like a festival, because you always meet the people, you hang around together. It's yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope it was helpful.
Yeah.